Okay, I think we're up and running. Let's see how that works. I think that's YouTube and Facebook. Get my chat. Yeah, there we go. I think all my streams are up now. Let me look at my new thing. Someone's in my live. Let me just... How do I go on there? Shut that down. If my chat works in here, YouTube and Twitch works better. Cool. Yeah, just do that. Okay, he's in there. A couple people are in now. Okay, so I basically just downloaded this and I had to get it up and running a little bit to make sure the sound was working. So I couldn't do the break it out of the box for you and have the sound working. So anybody who's running Ableton Live 10 Lite right now that they downloaded today should be pretty much at this point. If you've downloaded it and take a little peek already. If you're having any trouble with your sound, I'm on Windows here. You just go to Options, Preferences, and then under Audio, look for your audio output device here. You can find which one. I have a lot hooked up, but whatever. You might need to switch your driver type up here. And your input doesn't really matter right now until you'll figure that out later. Something I'd like to do right away is go to the look feel, and I switch to mid-dark or dark mode instantly because I don't like the fucking bright colors. It hurts my eyeballs. I think what I first will do for this lesson is set up a little template for ourselves, kind of get acquainted with a couple things. I can link you some videos and stuff since this is like a basic out-the-go intro. Yeah, we'll just first we'll set up a template and then we'll build a song off of it. And I'm gonna link some things for YouTube videos and people you might want to watch that would help out quite a bit during the learning process. So first of all, for a template, I like to switch. We're in session mode, and I like to go to arrangement mode, and I basically work solely out of arrangement mode. So that's my bread and butter. And we'll just delete everything down to one MIDI track. This is going to be kind of a template for electronic music. I'm just going to click over, make sure, yeah, looks like everything's alright and people can hear me. Just going to double check my OBS. Yeah, I can see Keegan's on there. Okay, excellent. Excellent, excellent. So, first of all, first MIDI track, we're going to go to our drums and we're going to hook a drum rack up. Drum rack's just like basically a giant 16 plus drum pad, finger drum pad thing. And we're going to go on this and hit Control R I think it's Apple R, Option R on Mac. Oh yeah, and if you're looking for your audio preferences on Mac, it's under File, and then I think Preferences. Anyway, back to this. Apple R, and we're going to rename this R. Kick. K-I-C-K. Again, Apple R. Erase it, rename it Kick. We'll duplicate it. If you hold Control D while highlighting this, you can duplicate the channel. I think it's Option D with a Apple. And then we're going to rename this one by hitting Control R or Option R on Apple. And we're going to rename that snare. These are going to be our first two drums. These are very important and powerful drums in most music because it'll just drive, especially dance music, and that's what we're going to be making today. So if you take both these tracks and highlight them, I think we have a max out of 16 tracks. So we're going to just set up a template specifically designed for Ableton Live 10 Lite. And if you select both of them at the same time and hit Control G, that'll put them in a group. And we'll learn about groups later, but this is just important right now because we're going to make a chain and it'll help with things. And if we rename this group, Control R or Option R, also Option G was to group as a Mac. We're going to rename this Kick Snare or KS. Easy peasy. So that's our first group. That's our main group. That's going to be our drum group. We want that on the top because that's going to be the thing that we have popping through the most. We want our drums to be heard because that drives our track. Next up, we want our not kick snare. So we'll make a new channel. To make a new MIDI channel, you hit Control Shift T and it'll pop it up. That'll be Option Shift T on a Mac. And we're going to name this channel Bass. We're going to hit Control R or Option R, rename it Bass. Now, if you want, you can also color these any color you want. I like to do, for basses, I like to do red. If you right click on the channel, you can switch the color. And for drums, I like to do orange or yellowy orange. It's really up to you, but you choose. So we have our bass MIDI channel now, and then under this MIDI channel, we're gonna group it right away. And that's our bass channel. So we're gonna rename this bass. Oh, shit. And then that's by hitting Control G yet again, and then Control R or Option G, Option R. Go to the MIDI channel here. We're gonna duplicate this and rename it Sub, S-U-B. And that's our bass channel there. It might not be the best if I'm speaking right now, but whatever. Next up, we're going to make a new MIDI channel. Control Shift T or Option Shift T. Change the color to blue. And we're going to call this Chords. C-O-R-D-S. Oh, and see how it got into this group here? We don't want it in that group, so we'll click and drag it out of that group. It'll be in its own group now. And we'll duplicate that, and we're going to call this one Melody. And we'll duplicate that once more. We're going to call this one Lead. Now, after you get those three, if you're having double duplicating, all you do is highlight the track, Control D or Option D. We're going to take all three, highlight them by holding Shift and clicking them, and then use Control or Option G, and that'll group them. This we're going to call Apple R, not bass. if we click this, this is just a little panel to open up our little MIDI channels, and these are our groups. How many are we up to? We're up to 10, so we have, I think, 6 channels left. So we're going to keep it at, we'll get one more, and we're going to take our bass group and our not bass group and group those together. And since that's blue and red, we'll just make it purple, because that's how colors work. And if you're colorblind, I'm sorry, use what works for you. And let's rename this channel Not Kick Snare. KS. Okay. And I basically just gave you my template that I kind of have set up. Mine's a little bit more complicated, but this is good for a 16 channel only thing. Because with this, I find you can basically lay out a full song. You can have your kick, your snare, and then there'll be space for other drums since we only have, 11 channels right now, so we can add a couple more drums. And we have a bass and a sub channel, and then we have 3 channels for like instruments on top of that. And I think with the 16 channels, we'll try to get up to about 14 at a time, and then we'll leave 2 audio channels open to record into and render things. And if you don't understand what that means, that's okay. We'll go over it anyway. So for right now, we're going to go to our options, go to preferences. If you're in a Mac, go to File, and I think it's under Preferences there. Maybe Option. Yeah, I think it's File Preferences under a Mac. I should open mine in front of me. I have both in front of me, but I'm being a dum-dum. Anyway, we're going to go to, where is it? File folder. And then we're going to go to Save Current Set as Default. And we're going to click Save. And that will give us a good template. So every time we open a new set, don't even have to save, because look, it's already there every single time. And this is just something to increase workflow and make things quicker rather than opening up to this blank slate that we don't really know where our instruments or anything are going to go. Now that we have this, what we can do is just start, using the instruments at hand, making a song. Now, I might have to ask anybody who's watching this, because I think I realized I own a copy of Ableton Suite as well as Ableton Lite, and I think a bunch of my instruments are popping through into this, or not, maybe not the instruments, but the presets in my instruments. They might be doing better now, but I had a mess up before. Yeah, it looks like it's actually loading less now. The basses was where it was before. Yeah, I think it's loading too many basses. So that'll be something to send Ableton as a little notice. But as of right now, I think we can start making some. A good idea. I'm not even 100% sure what's available here. So we're gonna kind of be going through this together. I think first what we'll do is use a simpler rack, and we'll go find a piano. Grand piano is like a good one, and we're going to check that right on our chords. This lesson, I am not very musically apt, and I use chord generators and arpeggiators and whatnot to make my music. So this is not going to be taught from a musical standpoint. This is more from just learn Ableton crash course. Maybe we'll get a little song. So right here, this will arm the instrument that you just loaded. We threw it onto our chord MIDI track. And if you play your piano, you can play your keyboard like a piano by playing A, W, S, E, D. And if it's not working for you, you might hit the letter M or press this little button up here in the right corner, top right corner. And that's how you trigger your keypad thing. Well, it just shows you how good I am at playing there. And if you double click here, it'll just make a little piano roll notation thing. And we can even open that up and see where all our little notes are hitting. So, what I like to do, and what I used to do when I first started before I paid for a nice chord generator, is we can go into the MIDI effects and use scaler and a chorder to make our own chords. So what you can do is just double click and put a scale on, and double click and put a chord on. Oh shit, not double click and put a chord on. The chord, what this will do is just move your, play different notes within different, whatchamafuzzits, how many notes you put it away. Oh, I can't even think of the word, I'm sorry. So what I'll usually do is just take one of these, like it's just house to go or something, and you can have it on a scale. Well, I'll just play the notes for you. Which makes life a lot easier. Okay, where am I? This is my first one, so bear with me. If you take this little scale thing here too, it'll move the. Oh no, it won't. I guess I fucked up. Never mind. Don't listen to me on that one. Delete that. Just play with your little house to go things here. So yeah, I would say find one of these for now that you like. Or what we can do as well is we could go on Google and we could go find some MIDI notations. So like type in MIDI scale for D. And then we can just go find one of them and download it. Find a nice good one. I should type free MIDI scale. Free MIDI scale 4D would be more appropriate, I believe. You can find like just tons and tons of MIDIs, which I've downloaded lots of times. And you can also find them for like pre-existing songs and stuff, which is really nice. I'm just getting big packs of them. I don't want giant packs. I just want. Let me try D minor. That might make it easier. Oh. Fuck it. I'm stoned. Okay, let's just do this. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna arm our track. We're just gonna play around. If you click this, this will record. And then if you come over here, you can have a little click track. And then play your piano. As you see fit for now. Oh shit, I did so wrong. And put your chord back on. Sorry. Rainy day here. And notice when you hit the letter R, you're missing it, but that's where like the black keys have the gap. So I'm just gonna take these 4 notes or 5 notes that I put out, and maybe if you double click on top of this, you get in your piano roll, and you can start putting stuff in behind, which is, I find, easier for those of us who are not that good at being musically apt. And what I'll usually do is like narrow this thing down to about a 4-bar loop. And just move these around. What you can do is click on it and hit Apple D and it'll duplicate it. And these are just like single notes that are triggering actual multiple notes. I'll show you how to render those out afterwards. Just find something that works for you. Maybe I should have pre-rendered something out before, but I wanted to kind of discover this with y'all. So let's see what that does. That sounds cool. Oi! So I like that little notation there. So what? If I remember how to do this correctly, I may be privy to fuck-ups here. So bear with me. If we make a new MIDI channel, Control, Shift, T, right? And we're going to route the notes that are getting played into this and record them. So what we do, we go here, we click the all ins. And we're going to take it from the chords. We want it fucking like that. That's it. Sorry. I think that's right. And then you click the arm button. Let's find out. If you hit double stop, it'll reset to the beginning. You'll see me do that a bunch. Let's record and see what we got. Oh yeah, there's some notes. Beauty. I don't think this is going to be the most musical theory sound fucking song, but we'll get an idea of how to just like bust into this. I'm sure anybody who's like actually into music production is going to be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Welcome to my brain. So, I'm going to take those little notes there, move them over there, and maybe we'll try another set of them. So double click in, and if you pull it over, that'll make it repeat. Just see if like I put in a note here, and drag it across a bit. See, it's putting notes in for everything at once. But if you hit Control J, it'll join everything. You can get rid of them, or you can just move them around, you know. See what happens. Just move them in random directions, because I don't know. Oh. Let's go up one more. Cool. Record that one. And if you don't want it to hit, we can make this into a loop by clicking that. This is your loop's length setter. You can also highlight a track and hit Control or Option L. We just turned it off there, so make sure to turn it back on. And then if you hit this button here, punch out switch, it'll stop recording at the end. So we have this armed, and watch the magic. See? Now it's not recording anymore. It's cool. So we're just messing around here, making some different loops out of random buttons that we're pressing. I have no musical talent. I just do this for fun. Or, well, at random. I would like to. Ooh, that one's cool. I wonder what you guys is sounding like. Sesh mode for the win. Oh, they can jump back in. Alright. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there. Oh, if you ever do that, you just hit Apple Z and it'll, or Control Z, and it'll reset it. Let's do one more. If you you can grab stuff and hold Shift and highlight it, move it over as well. Hello, birdie. I can hear you. Drag that across. Hit Control. Oops, I hit Apple by accident. Or Windows. Let's just put in. A lot of these I'm going to start on the root note, which is my C3 for this, just to have it at the 1. Oh, shit. So, look, I wrote those too close together. I'll show you a little trick. If I'll click out here. If you double click the top of one of these, that's where your notes are in the piano roll. You can highlight all your tracks. You can grab right here to stretch it out. Or if I wanted to highlight them as well, I could hit Control A or Apple A or Option A. And then if I click this thing, it'll make them all double in length. And if I click that, it'll make them half in length. You can do a bunch too. But I made those too small, so I'll just double them, and then it'll be right. I'll record those out. And I'm just writing fucking random notes. Okay. We got 4 of these. Let's just see what we can do with them. It's kind of random notes. They're all like chords without stopping. Except for these ones, which I fucked up before. So hit again. You can just highlight them. And if we hit legato, they'll all stretch to each other as well. Those are legato notes. Those are interesting terms. So, we have our notes. We have our little trigger chords coming from our Eternal Sunshine patch. I'm not sure what you're using on a grand piano. Now these MIDI notes are actually playing just no sound at all. They're just triggering nothing. And if I were to say turn this chord maker off, it would just sound like this now. But if I take this down here and replace it, that's when you get it again. Cool, eh? So, we're going to take all this little thing up here, the chords, and just delete it. Highlight it, delete it. And we're going to rename this chords. Chords. If you don't remember how, click it, Control or Option R, and then type in chords. Hit Enter. Boom. And this will be our chords that we start the song with. Now, we're going to go over one of the most important things you'll ever learn about music production. Save your fucking files. Constantly. All the time. So, Control S or Option S will save. Just remember that. Hit it all the time. I'm going to go to my Ableton ideas. I have a folder right on my desktop just filled with all my Ableton ideas. And then I rename them. This is what? Our Ableton Lite tutorial question mark, because who knows who the fuck this will teach. Right? And for some projects, and a lot of them, a good idea is to write 120, well, don't write 120 BPM. Write what your BPM was, and write what key it's in. I don't friggin' know what key we wrote this in, but we'll say key of, we'll just, whatever, E, F, G, H major. That's a good key. My favorite key. Oh, actually, I don't think I can put brackets. Or save. Can I not save? What up? What up? I don't know. I might not have set this up to save. I might need to restart my computer. I literally just installed it. You might need to restart your computer still. Fuck. Let me try it again. I'm gonna try. Oh, look at that little star up there. I don't know. Can I save? Let's try. Oh. Well, that worked. So just save your sets as a random collection of letters, and yeah, that'll be fine. I must have put in a special character or something that I wasn't supposed to. My apologies. So yeah. So right now, I think what I'll do is we're gonna go and put in our kick and our snare next, and we're gonna make a trigger over that. But I'm gonna put on, I think, a little video for you guys by our friends over at Stonks. Stonks on YouTube. They are drum and bass fucking just excellent fucking producers. They do Ableton Deep Dive. Let's Read the Manual. Fucking Oli and James. They got a podcast. They do some killer fucking music. I think they have a label as well. I think like they're just all around majorly dope guys. And I wanted to throw a little bit of their stuff up here, so I'm gonna do a little break here for myself and fucking stuff up there.
Session. Let's go. So what exactly is the amp plugin? Well, what better place to start than the Ableton manual? So let's see what Ableton themselves have to say about it. Amp. Amp is an effect that emulates the sound and character of 7 classic guitar amplifiers. Developed in collaboration with Softube, Amp uses physical modelling technologies to provide a range of authentic and usable amplified tones, with a simple and consistent set of controls. There are 7 amp modes to choose from. Clean is based on Brilliant, channel of a classic amp from the 60s. This amp was widely used by guitarists of the British Invasion. Oi oi. Boost is based on the Tremolo channel of the same amp and is great for edgy rock riffs. Blues is based on a 70s era guitar amp with a bright character. This classic amp is popular with country, rock and blues guitarists. Rock is modelled after a classic 45 watt amp from the 60s. This is perhaps the best known rock amp of all time. Lead is based on the modern channel of a high gain amp popular with metal guitarists. Heavy is based on the vintage channel of the same amp and is also ideal for metal and grunge sounds. Bass is modelled after a rare PA from the 70s, which has become popular with bass players due to its strong low end and fuzz at high volumes. Although the real-world version of these amps all have unique parameters, Live's amp effect uses the same set of controls for each model. This makes it very easy to quickly change the overall character of your sound without having to make numerous adjustments. That's a good point to use, and that's a technique that we use quite often. Just that quick one button. Gain adjusts the level of the input to the preamplifier, whilst volume adjusts the output stage of the power amplifier. So if you guys know anything about hardware, or if you've used any hardware, it's the same thing. Your preamp volume is volume going in, and your output volume is the affected volume coming out. Although gain and volume work together to determine amp's overall level, gain is the primary control for the distortion amount. Higher gain settings result in a more distorted sound. So I love my metal tones, and that's one of the things that we do quite often is boost the gain before the amp. So we'll go guitar into a pedal to boost the gain into the amp, then into the distorted channel of the amp. So having that gain adjust before the distortion, you can really push into the distortion to get more distortion. Right, where were we? Gain is the primary control of the distortion amount. Higher gain settings result in a more distorted sound. When using the blues, heavy and bass models, high volume levels can also add considerable distortion. So literally boosting.
Okay, that was just a little preview of our homies over at Stonks. Check him out under STONX on YouTube. He does little breakdowns of all the effects, and he's starting to do instruments now, and it's a really helpful channel for any newbies out there. I'm gonna throw him on in between as a commercial slash promotion for his YouTube channel, because he does really good stuff and definitely well worth the watch. So up now, we should throw on. We have our chords here, so let's take a little listen to what we got. Probably doesn't sound very songish, but we probably have a little bit. Take your loop off. Blip, blip. Oh. Oops. Where did my piano go? Did I delete it by accident? I might have. I think I did. Sorry, I'm an idiot. So, I just gotta go back, and we go to our instruments and just put our grand piano back on there. Hopefully you're not getting too much double back. Sounds like a load of shit right now, but we'll work it out. So, let's take this first one. I think what we'll do is if you hold Controller Option and drag it up to your bass line here, and we'll put in the bass notes. Blow that up by clicking there. And go in. And what we'll do, if you hit fold, I can fold up all the keys, and it'll just have the notes that you've pressed. Highlight all the top ones and hit 0, and that will deactivate the notes. And then what we're left with is just the bass notes. And that's like, let's see, C2. Yeah, that might be okay. We'll see. What we'll do now is go find a bass. So we'll go on our instruments. I like to go on the simpler for now. I think that's probably the best thing that they're gonna have fucking in regards. Maybe instrument rack. Yeah, let's check out instrument rack. I have way too many, so I know this might cause my shit to crash. So I'm gonna save, because I know I shouldn't have all these. Oh, growing binaural. Can anybody say in the chat if they have growing binaural? I want to make sure I'm using something that you guys have. Keegan, can you say if you... I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe. Where is my thing? Dun, 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 dun. I don't even know where my fucking internet is stuck on at. Can you hear me? This is my first go at this, so pardon any hiccups and whatnot that you may encounter over this cast. I am trying my best. I'm also using satellite internet. This might be something that I have to end up recording and then putting up later, but I would prefer to do it live if possible. If not, we may be fucked. We will see. Okay, I think we're getting picked up again. I don't think it's skipping too bad, but we'll find out. So, we got our bass notes, we got our bass. Let's see what happens when we hit play. That's a pretty cool one. We got kind of a dubstep thing happening with this motherfucker. Seems like the wobbles or the filter of this bass is hooked up to the pitch. So the higher the pitch, the quicker the wobbles. Lower the pitch, the slower. I wonder if you guys can hear that. So what I'll do now is duplicate these two and let's make a fucking loop. Why not? L. And this we'll work on. This is going to be our drop, our main hook. Now what we need, I think, is a kick and a fucking snare. So let's go up for a kick. We'll go here. And we will go to instruments. And at the top here, we'll type in kick. Cut, kick, bass. Click it. That's just a bass. Sounds like a kick, kinda. That's under instrument rack. We'll go under booms. Check out what that is. That's kind of like an 808, a long one. That might be okay for later parts, but it might be too long with what we're working with here because we want something more, you know, that's going to punch through since we have such a long, wobbled sound. Okay. Shit. We're limited! Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh. Is that one not available? Is it not? Ow. I gotta figure out which one's available. Can someone... Oh, fuck. I wish someone was on the thing. I'm curious if someone could recommend a kick. Let me look. I got 2 viewers. I think my thing's lagging back, so you might not hear me till later. I don't want to cheat by going in samples because I have 10 million samples here. Let's just grab... Oh, shit. No, I'm up in my samples. Let's go back to our instruments. This instrument rack, all we got. What's this impulse? Okay, impulse is just a drum thing. Let's grab one of these. Let's figure it out. Backbeat. Actually, let's trial them by playing the beat and going through. Blue Thunder got a fucking rain freeze, maybe. I like the Congo, bongo, timbales, timbales. I'm an idiot. That'd be a good opener for the drums. Dub delay. That might be for some when it's a slower part. Grinder kit. It's more industrial. We don't want it. Impulse 606 too weak for like this style. It doesn't have enough drive. Same as the 808. This is both more like hip hop to me. Let's check out the next percussion one. That could help. Some percussions later. We'll see. Different percussions. It's a nice saturated, like soft, like good reverb on the snares and stuff. That could be interesting. Vintage good time, interesting as well. So I think our best choice under there is going to be the Blue Thunder kit. So how we'll load up this. This is my trick when I'm dealing with these channels. We're going to load up a new MIDI track, Apple Shift T. Highlight it. Go over to the Blue Thunder kit. Yeah. Double click it. That'll load it in. You can also click and drag it over. And if you take the wrong one, you can click this and this will switch your kits. And it won't stop until you hit the X here or there. But we'll go Blue Thunder. Now. Okay, that's how those are lined up. We actually have everything turned up way too fucking loud on this. I should have set that up better in the template and put a utility, but I forgot. What audio effects do we have anyway? We got a effect rack, auto filter, beat repeat, channel EQ, chorus, compressor, delay, EQ3, erosion, redux, reverb, tuner, and utility. Utility's one of my favorite, and we're going to learn a little bit about that right now. Actually, I'm going to put on a video by our buddies Stonks, Oli at Stonks, and he'll give us a little breakdown of exactly what the utility does and fucking how to use it, because he's on point with this video, so I gotta give it to him. I gotta find it though. Give me one minute. Yeah, right, there it is. This is like a 12-minute video. And we're just going to throw right in the middle of this podcast. Definitely look it up, especially you newbies, because this is my favorite stock effect that's available in Ableton. And Oli here from Stonks Music breaks it down just solidly. So let's take a look.
Right, so here we are back in the Ableton manual. Let's see what they've got to say about utility. Utility can perform some very useful tasks, especially in combination with other devices. There are two separate phase controls, one for each input, left and right. As their names imply, they invert the phase of each channel. The channel mode chooser allows selective processing of the left and right channels for a sample. If, for example, left is selected, the right channel is ignored and the left channel appears on both outputs. This is especially useful if you have a stereo file that contains different information on both channels and you want to use only one. The width control sets the stereo width of the wet signal. 0% yields a mono signal, whereas values above 100% create a widened stereo panorama. Choosing mid-side mode from the width control, right-click PC, control-click Mac, allows you to toggle between width and mid-side balance controls. The mid-side balance control acts as a continuous mono to stereo controller when set from 0 to 100M. Setting the parameter to 100M will sum the audio to mono. Values between 0 and 100S emphasize the stereo or out-of-phase components of a signal. At 100S, only the side signal will be heard. The left and right channels will be 180 degrees out of phase with each other. Note that if either left or right have been chosen in the channel mode chooser, the width and mid-side balance controls have no function and are therefore disabled. When the mono switch is enabled, stereo input is converted to mono. The bass mono switch converts the low frequencies of the input signal to mono. This is useful for avoiding coloration of low frequencies when they are replayed in mono. You can use the bass mono frequency slider to adjust the cutoff frequency between 50 and 500 Hz. When bass mono audition is enabled, only the low frequencies can be heard. This can be useful for tuning the bass mono frequency. The gain control adjusts the level of the input signal from -infinite dB to +35 dB. This can be particularly useful for automating volume fades on a track, while freeing up that track's volume control for mix balancing. Note when adjusting the gain parameter between -18 and +35 dB using the up-down arrow keys, the value increases or decreases in 1 decibel increments. However, between -18 and -infinite, the value smoothly accelerates. The balance control pans the signal anywhere in the stereo field. The mute button simply silences the incoming signal when enabled. Note that active mute controls of a track are always placed at the very end of the signal chain. However, since you can place utility anywhere on the signal chain, you can use its mute function to cut the input of a delay line or reverb without turning off the input of these devices. The DC switch filters out DC offsets and extremely low frequencies that are far below the audible range. It will only have a sonic effect if a signal contains these frequencies and is processed after utility with non-linear effects such as compressors or wave shapers. Right, that's pretty much it for utility. Let's jump into Ableton and see what we can do. Right, here we are back in Ableton. Let's have a look at what we can do with utility. So, starting off with my master channel, I have this set to my...
Okay, we're back here. That was Oli and Stonk's music. Check them out on YouTube again, giving a breakdown of the utility. Now, what we're going to do with the utility is just toss it on this and turn our channel down by, we'll say, a good old -12. Good way to start. You don't want to be cranking the music too loud. And a good thing to do is just watch your master channel. Like, never let this clip in the red. When you do, it's just going to sound like shit, you know. So, now we have our chords here. They're just basically piano chords. Oh, and look, we have those too loud, so let's throw utility on that too. Put it down, -12. This is, you tend not to use your gain sliders, or your level sliders until the end. Just so you know. Anyway. Now we need our kick. We have up here with the Blue Thunder. So it's armed, and we'll go over, put our click track back on, get everything ready, and start recording. And what we can do is if you click here, where is it? Fuck. No, here. And you can have a count in. You can have 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bar. So if it's if you hit record from when it's at the stop point, it'll give you a little click in. You'll hear it. That's all I need. I just record it as much as I need. This stuff is all off, so we're going to use something called quantization, which means moving the note closer. Someone who's gone to school is going to be like, that's not what the fuck it means. And I'm like, that's what it means to me, homie. So, you can highlight everything by either clicking and selecting all, or hitting Control and hitting A, or Option A. Every time I say Control or Option, or Apple, I mean, those 3 buttons are all the same to me. And we'll go into the quantize. Oh shit! I accidentally hit quantize. If you accidentally do something ever, if you hit Control or Option and Z, it'll go back. If you go under Edit, it's the undo. So we'll select it all and go to our quantize settings. Right now it's set to quantize to a 16th for 48%. Since this is drums, I actually just want it to go right to the grid, so we can move that up by clicking and dragging, and you can adjust it to the end of the note or the beginning. We want it at the start. We'll just do an 1/8, and everything should line up nicely for the drums. And let's hear. This one here, it's too late, so we'll move it all the way back here. Move that note there. That's some dubsteppy shit. We'll turn off this metronome for now. Click track. And if we want to make these notes look all nice, what I usually do is you can select all of them and then not right click, sorry, hit legato, and it'll just make all your ends line up. But sometimes you don't want that if your tails carry across, but I think most of these are one hits that have single notes that'll carry across anyway, so we're good. Let's just save for make sure. You always want to save. Double hit stop to reset it to the beginning, and we have we have 4 bars here, so we'll just highlight the top and duplicate it, and then if we take both, select them, you can click one and then hold shift and hit the other and hit control or option and J, merge them together, and then we have a nice little 8-bar loop. And then what we can do is this, since right here is the end of our loop, we can make it go. Oh, look, we even have a little bit of overhang, I just realized. So we'll bring that back. We don't want that. We want it to end right on the bar. And we can give it maybe a double snare right at the end here. Just to emphasize the end. Let's hear what it sounds like. Oh, look, I noticed that it went out of sync here, so we'll just highlight it all, and if you hit Control or Option and U, that will make it quantize to the setting that you had chosen for your last. Nice, but see, we're getting some peaks of red here on our master. I think what we'll do is on our fucking drums here, we're going to throw utility and put that to -12 as well. And let's hear how it sounds together. Sounds like our bass is way higher now. So I think what we'll do is drop the bass infinity. What we got coming over a master? It looks pretty good there. So we'll just pick up the bass until it sounds good. Okay, so now that we have that done, what we'll do, which is a good little trick here, the reason I got us to make this kick snare thing is we'll go to our not kick snare. And this is like, with what you got, I think this is the best way to do it. Someone might have a better way, but I'm not quite sure if it's set upable. But we're going to do some sidechain compression. If there is a way to duck with an LFO by, what I mean by what we're going to do is every time the kick and the snare hit, we're going to compress the bass, and we're actually going to compress everything but the kick and snare for the most part. So what we'll do is go to this not kick snare, the entire group, which holds everything but the fucking kick snare, where Blue Thunder is, and we'll put a compressor. And then we're going to go here. If we click this little thing, it opens up an extra panel, which we can click sidechain. And the side chaining means it's going to receive the information from a different part, the audio information, and side chain it in, and it'll only trigger the compressor when it receives information from that. The info we want is going to be from kick snare. So I'm going to go to the top and go KS. Is that right? Will this work right? No, we just take it from Blue Thunder. I have this wired up a bit different than what I have set up at home, so apologize. Actually, what we'll do, okay, I'll make this. It's weird. I told everyone to put a drum rack in here, but I'm starting to realize, because we used the impulse, is it? Yeah, and I never used an impulse, so let's just switch Yeah, I'll do that. Fuck the drum racks for now. I kind of want to show you the drum rack thing. Let's show you, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you something cool here. I'm going to do a little bit of skipping ahead on your learning here. We're going to turn our kick and our snare. Fuck. Oh, we're only limited to 8 in this version of Live. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit the limit of channels here. Just realize that. We're definitely going to need to cut down. What I'll do is get rid of this lead channel. For now, we'll have it back in a minute. What we need to do, we're going to duplicate this Blue Thunder channel. Apple or Control D. Duplicate. We're going to go down. If you hit here in the little piano roll, double click, remember, to get in there. If you're like stuck over here, that's your effects roll. Over here is your piano roll. We're going to get rid of the kick on this one. We're going to rename it, call it snare. And we're going to get rid of the not kick, the snare on this one, and call this one kick. K-I-C-K. Right? So, we're going to take this information and duplicate it. And bring it up to the kick and snare channels here. This is our snare, so we'll put it here. And this is our kick. We'll put it here. That might be confusing, so maybe I should have told you to color them differently, but whatever. They're in the right places now. What we're going to do is we'll get the, we're going to right click and hit freeze. And then flatten. Fuck! I can't do it. Shit. I need to get rid of another channel. Sorry. Get rid of your melody channel. I thought this was the one that had 16. This one has 8. Alright. We're going to get rid of our melody channel. Right quick. We're going to flatten this. Flatten her up. We got it. We got it. So now that it's flattened, it's turned into a piece of audio. All what we need is that one little snare sample anyway. So we'll just move this up to here. Click here, hit Control or Option E, click up here, delete it, and then we have this snare sample here. If we go, yeah, perfect. If we grab this, and, and drag it there, sorry, where am I? There. To D1. That's where you want to put it. That's your snare sample. Then right click and crop sample, right click, normalize volume. And then you have your snare all ready to go, and we can get rid of that. And this kick, we need to do the same thing, so we'll right click, freeze the track. I'm taking a very long way around to doing this, but it'll teach you a bit about stuff. Flatten it. And that's how you turn audio MIDI. Da, 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 da. And the same thing. Oh my god, what is that sound? What's this one? Where am I? Oh, these are hitting in the wrong fucking spot too. Oh, it's killing me. It's killing me. Killing me. Whatever. I grabbed the wrong thing too. Oh, I'm so fucked up. I gotta go back. Apple's egg, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. I fucked up. I'm sorry. I just realized I grabbed double snares. Yeah, I just have a bunch of snares there. That's what I did. Okay, we're back to here. You know what the easiest way to do this would have been? So hit Control or Apple Z till you get back to this. This is fucking this. Oh, so dumb. This is the stupidest thing I could have done. I'm sorry. I failed as a human there. Just get to where your Blue Thunder kit is there. And all you gotta do, literally, is freeze that. No. Okay, drag one over. Do this. Then freeze that. And flatten it. That was called taking the fucking hard way around, man. Then you double click. Okay, C1 on the kick. That's our kick. Click and drag it. Just drop it there. Boom. We have a kick. All we're going to do is that's our kick. Boom. Go to snare. Same thing. D1 is our snare. Click and drag it to there. Where's our kick? That's our kick right there. Drag the bottom there. That's our kick. Drag that over there. Boom. Now we have a kick. That was it. I took the very long way. I apologize. That was a bad idea. Okay. So these are in the wrong place though. But all you gotta do is double click. And this is our kick. Unfold them. And you can find it real quick. And get rid of the top one. By clicking the top there. Get rid of all of them. Or you can highlight. Same as this one. Just fold it. Unfold it. This one is the snare, so get that top one and bring it down. And that should play now. We'll turn this off just to make sure we did it right. Yeah, that's right. So now we can get rid of this channel. So now we're back down to fucking... I guess groups don't count as channels. Oh, so I guess you can make unlimited groups, because I have 10 channels, but we... Yeah, but it's not actual channels. I didn't know that. I'm learning. Okay, so now we got a kick and a snare on their own individual channels. And what we want to do is make them trigger into this not kick snare. So what we'll do is hit the side chain and then go not kick snare. Every time. Down all the way. Now we can make it go faster. Well, that's compressing it too much. But what that'll do is just, as things fill up, it'll create space over time for the kick and the snare to really punch through. Oh yeah, and with these we need to crop sample by right clicking and normalize volume, and that'll make them way louder, so be careful when you do that. Don't blow your shit. Oh, and look, this one's off, so you can just drag it up to there. See, and now you go under here. Click those and hit delete. They'll go back to the normal values that you started with. With these, we got to put the utilities on that we put on before. One thing you can do is click them, hold Control, and then drop and let go of the mouse button. Don't let go of the computer, the keyboard button, or they won't drop. Or it will drop, but it'll steal it from your other channel. And just to drop those down to volume. Kick up higher. If you click it and hit up on the gain, it'll go a little bit at a time, which is a nice way to set your gain levels easier. Check here again. We're going to pull down our threshold so it punches. There we go. So it pushes down right on the bottom. If you want, you can use this EQ here. And what that'll do is only cut anything below that you were putting there. So you put like is it below or above? Must be above. Did 250 there, maybe. Don't even need it, I think. I'm gonna turn it off. Bring her up just to where I want it. Now, if you want to learn what this compressor is doing and how it's side chaining, go check out that Read the Manual series by Stonks for sure, because I'm not going to explain it right now. I think his compressor one is like 35 minutes or something, as well as it should be, so definitely check that out. So, up next, maybe we want something to like kind of like play through like a nice little melody. What we can do again here, so we'll take these from the chords and we'll put them over here. By doing that, obviously highlight them, hold Control, and drop them on there. And now we have a open MIDI, so we need to put another instrument in. So let's go under our simpler again and maybe look up. Let's look up synth key. Let's look at leads. Let's just try 10.1. See if it loads up. I have no idea what I'm loading up. Not available. Fuck, I don't know what's available. I'm just gonna click stuff until something's available. I apologize, because I don't know. If someone can tell me, that'd be great. Oh, nope, not there. Oh, there we go. I got a Suver, whatever that is. I don't know. And what I might do next is take a arpeggiator, throw it on there. Let's see how that sounds together. Oh, why is that not on? Is that like a channel I can't use? It's there. Or might be. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, I hit the in on it. I apologize. It's confusing me. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, I hit in, so it's not. That's when you take information in from like another MIDI. Oh, don't forget to put on your utility to turn it down. Okay, I instantly hate this sound. Let's go try to find something better. What do I got under sound? Does it just it gives me too many, I think. That's the problem.
Hey,
So,
if you're hungry, come over.
cool. I will.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Neighbor/father asking me for dinner. I might have to join him in a bit. Where was I? Okay, we got an instrument here. We got to find. Man, this is. didn't anticipate the instruments from my other version of Ableton to be interacting with this one and doing this constantly. I thought they would just not pop up, which seems to be not a thing. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. I don't know. What about the cheap electric piano? Okay, let's work with that. Let's work with that. We got a little bit of something at least. So, what can we do with this? We need to fuck it up a bit. What do we get with the beat repeat? Maybe we'll throw some beat repeat on. If you click these, there's some fucking pre-recorded things, so you can get little weird effects happening. No, it doesn't work with the arpeggiation. Apologies. I have to figure out something here. It's annoying that I can't fucking. It's giving me options that I can't use. I'm like, just don't give me the options. What about? Let's see. Let's try under maybe the instrument rack. I'll get something. Okay. Ah, there's so many under there though. Definitely a catacomb lead that popped up. Wonder if that works for you. Oh, that motherfucker's loud. We're gonna drop the volume by a bunch. Let's go down minus like 16. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. I think we can work with that. So, let me hear that again. Interesting. Do we have an auto pan? No. What do we have? It's interesting. I throw on an auto filter. And we're going to set the rate to. Let's just do it for 4 at 15 and drop the frequency down to a K. I'll play that again. Go higher. Higher frequency. Oh, sorry, I turned it off. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Let's raise this res. I think a good idea would be to get rid of some of these lows that are popping through, so we can take a channel EQ and just grab the lows and get rid of them. What's that do? That gives a dark slope, yeah. Just drop it all the way. I need to turn it down a bit more. Maybe minus 25. Let's try. Starting to sound better. It's starting to sound good. Okay, so what we'll do, we're going to save. And I think what I'll do is throw up another little video by our buddy Stonks here. Let you get an idea of auto filter, which we just applied to our sound there, because that's a quite important thing as well, effect. Also,
Hello, everybody.
whoa,
Welcome to...
settle down there, Woody. Sorry, buddy. That's my bad. I'm definitely promoting this guy 100% free of charge of my own good doing, because I just love what he does, and he has a read the manual Ableton deep dive, and he just finished all the audio effects the other day, got right to the very bottom, and each one he's done an excellent deep dive into. I'm hoping to do some work with him and do a collab in the future. I'm sorry if I'm not very professional with the way I'm doing everything tonight, and I'm just kind of rambling on and going through things, but I'm just kind of going through a crash course with myself for this, because I've been using so many plugins and whatnot that I haven't really just triggered down to this. So let's do a little throw Oli on for a little bit here, and I'll be right back, and we'll jump.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stonks Music. Today we're going to be having a look at Ableton's auto filter in this week's deep dive session. Let's go. Right, so here we are at the Ableton manual. Let's have a look what they got to say. The auto filter effect provides classic analog filter emulation. It can be modulated by an envelope follower and or an LFO to create moving filter effects. The envelope follower can track either the filtered signal or an external sidechain source. Auto filter offers a variety of filter types, including low pass, high pass, band pass, notch, and a special morph filter. Each filter can be switched between 12 and 24 decibel slopes, as well as a selection of analog modelled circuit behaviours, developed in conjunction with Cytomic, that emulate hardware filters found on some classic analog synthesizers. The clean circuit option is a high quality CPU efficient design that is the same as the filters used in EQ8. This is available for all filter types. So, according to Ableton, using auto filter on clean, cut off at 100, should have the same effect as an EQ8 with cutoff. Bear in mind on your EQ8 we do have a difference between a 12 and 24 slope as well. So we'll do a little test and span and see if there are any differences there. The OSR circuit option is a state variable type with resonance limited by a unique hard clipping diode. This is modelled on the filters used in a somewhat rare British monosynth and is available for all filter types. My research probably leads me to believe it is from the Oscar, which is an Oxford synthesis company, old British monosynth. The MS2 circuit option uses a sailing key design and soft clipping to limit resonance. It's modelled on the filters used in a famous semi-modular Japanese monosynth and is available for the low pass and high pass filters. So I reckon this one's probably from the Korg MS20 maybe. It'll be one of their filters used on here. The SMP circuit is a custom design not based on any particular hardware. It shares characteristics of both the MS2 and PRD circuits and is available for the low pass and high pass filters. So I think this is something where they say it's characteristics of MS2 and PRD. So they've done all this modelling and then kind of jammed some bits together to create something unique. The PRD circuit uses a ladder design and has no explicit resonance limiting. It's modelled on the filters used in a legacy dual oscillator monosynth from the United States and is available for the low pass and high pass filters. So I think that's going to be the Moog. I think that's the Moog ladder filter. There we go. So this is an article. I'll put the link in the description if you want to read that from Universal Audio, explaining the early history of these kind of filters and how they worked and what they did. The most important filter parameters are the typical synth controls, frequency and resonance. Frequency determines where in the harmonic spectrum the filter is applied. Resonance boosts frequencies near that point. When using the low pass, high pass or band pass filter with any circuit type besides clean, there is an additional drive control that can be used to add gain or distortion to the signal before it enters the filter. The morph filter has an additional morph control which sweeps the filter type continuously from low pass, band pass, to high pass, to notch, and back to low pass. Now this one is really nice. I don't actually use it much on auto filter itself, but inside Sampler, I'm not sure, sorry. We have the same morph on the filter in there, and I use that quite a lot when I'm making these kind of neuro nasty mover sounds. So here's a quick tip. You can quickly snap the morph control to a low pass, band pass, high pass or notch setting via dedicated options in the right click PC or control click Mac context menu in the morph knob. You can adjust frequency and resonance by clicking and dragging in the XY controller or via the knobs. You can also click on the frequency and resonance numeric displays and type in exact values. When using the non-clean circuit types, the resonant control allows for self-oscillation at resonance values above 100%. The filter will continue to ring indefinitely even after the input signal has been stopped. The pitch of the self-oscillation depends on both the frequency and resonance values. And this is a really fun trick. I used it in my song The Bloop to give that kind of the sound of sonar or like a radar or that kind of crazy flailing sounds. Shove something in your filter, whack the resonance right up, and then start automating that resonance to give you the new pitches. Quite a fun little technique. The envelope section controls how the envelope modulation affects the filter frequency. The amount control defines the extent to which the envelope affects the filter frequency, while the attack control sets how the envelope responds to rising input signals. Low attack values cause a fast response to input level. High values integrate any changes gradually, creating a looser, slower response. Think of it as adding inertia to the response. That's a cool way to think about it, I suppose. Normally, the signal being filtered and the input source that triggers the envelope follower are the same signal. But by using sidechain, it's possible to filter a signal based on the envelope of another signal. To access the sidechain parameters, unfold the auto filter window by toggling the down arrow button in its title bar. Enabling this section with the sidechain button allows you to select another track from the choosers below. This causes the selected track's signal to trigger the filter's envelope follower, instead of the signal that is actually being filtered. The gain knob adjusts the level of the external sidechain's input, while the dry-wet knob allows you to use a combination of sidechain and original signal as the envelope follower's trigger. With dry-wet at 100%, the envelope follower tracks the sidechain source exclusively. At 0%, the sidechain is effectively bypassed. Note that increasing the gain does not increase the volume of the source signal in the mix. The sidechain audio is only a trigger for the envelope and is never actually heard. The auto filter also contains a low frequency oscillator to modulate filter frequencies in a periodic fashion. The respective amount control sets how much the LFO affects the filter, and this can be used in conjunction with or instead of the envelope follower. The rate control specifies the LFO speed. It can be set in terms of hertz or sync to the song's tempo, allowing for a controlled rhythmic filtering. Available LFO waveform shapes are sine, creates a smooth modulation with rounded peaks and valleys, square, triangle, sawtooth up, sawtooth down, and sample and hold, which generates random positive and negative modulation values in mono and stereo. There are two LFOs, one for each stereo channel. The phase and offset controls define the relationship between these two LFOs. Phase keeps both LFOs at the same frequency, but can set the two LFO waveforms out of phase with each other, creating stereo movement. Set to 180 degrees, the LFO outputs are 180 degrees apart, so that one LFO reaches its peak, the other one is at its minimum. Spin detunes the two LFO speeds relative to each other. Each stereo channel is modulated at a different frequency as determined by the spin amount. Sample and hold, S and H, the phase and spin controls are not relevant and do not affect the sound. Instead, the auto filter offers two kinds of sample and hold. The upper sample and hold type available in the chooser provides independent random modulation generators for the left and right channels, while the lower one modulates both channels with the same signal. The quantized beat control applies quantized modulation to the filter frequency. With quantized beats off, frequency modulation follows the control source, the envelope, LFO, or manually adjusted cutoff. Turning this feature on updates the filter modulation rhythmically with stepped changes that track the master tempo. The number buttons represent 16th notes, so for example 4 as a beat value produces a modulation change once per beat. So quarter, 4 quarter notes, 8 eighth notes, 16, etc. Legacy filters. If you have a set that was created on a version older than 9.5, any instance of autofilter in the set will be open with legacy filters in place. These consist of 12 dB or 24 dB low pass, band pass and high pass filters, as well as the notch filter. They do not feature a drive control. Each autofilter loaded with the legacy filters shows an upgrade button in the title bar. Pressing this button will permanently switch the filter selection to the newer models for that instance of autofilter. Note that this change may make your set sound different. So again, we've got some quite interesting things here. Let's do a few tests and I will show you the results. And we're back. Right, that was some interesting tests as always. Let me just show you the sound I started off with. It's just a little operator patch I made. It's a nice big sub and a good few extra high harmonics up there. Bit of FM synthesis. Project will be in the description, so feel free to use that. So here we go. Let's move into GIMP and have a look. So here is span, our clean signal with the auto filter turned off. So you can see there, and then straight away with our auto filter on, not a massive difference. But you can see here some frequencies are being brought up, and also kind of all of these get a little boost. There's just a few little something going on. That's the most bit I can see. Where's that 500 hertz? Something's happening. That's just it going through the electronics. So this is also something to be aware of if you have filters and effects on your channel that aren't being used. So let's say for instance I could have this on my drums and then I'll be automating. It's important to then automate the auto filter to turn off, otherwise you are going to be adding these extra frequencies, this extra digital dirt, which is not going to help you in the long run. So let's have a look at OSR should be next. Boom! Look at that. Look at that dirty boost. Looks like the balance has been kept pretty similar, but we've gone from, what's this, minus 33 dB up to minus 21, minus 18. That's a good old bit of boost that's been added on with that drive. But it doesn't look... some interesting things. This frequency here, where's that 600 hertz? That's not being boosted at all. That's like staying cut. But again, we've got this big bit of dirt in the 500 there. Also, just pulling up these frequencies, whereas that 100 hertz from nowhere, that's just coming right up on the noise floor. MS2. That's not too different from OSR, but you can see again just a little more boost. These 2K, 3K area, they're almost peaking off the top of span now. Weird little hump here in the 800. Yeah, quite interesting. And let's compare that to our clean. See a big boost there. PRD compared to the MS2. This is quite interesting. Very interesting. PRD seems to be adding a lot more frequencies. You can see that big hump here at 150, 130. And then between all of our harmonics, all of our overtones, it's adding these extra bits. Quite clear gaps here that are all starting to be filled in. So that's some real nice harmonic content. When you start sweeping that filter around, that's going to give you some nice sounds. And lastly, SMP. Relatively clean, to be honest. Boosted, obviously, but this 500 is still a bit of an issue. We still get this little bit over the 100. So this is just the filter set at maximum, not actually being used. So that's just with its frequency right up at the top. So this set of tests was done with the auto filter set at around 1K with a boosted resonance. So let's have a look. This was our signal when it's off, and this is clean. So you can see it's done quite a good job of cutting below 1K, and it has indeed added a bit of resonance around this 400, 600 region. Little boost there, and not really done much to our subs. Let's go to the OSR, and now we start playing the fun game. So when you've got the frequency set all the way at the top and the resonance down, it's not bypassed as we saw from the last test, but it's really not getting a mass amount of difference. Whereas once we start actually pushing some of this, we've got things going through the circuitry, and we're going to start getting some nice sounds. So boom, boom, OSR, real load of frequency around here, load of resonance, all of this lovely low mid-end dirt. Boosted that sub quite a bit, boosted that frequency up as well as where our resonance was. That's been boosted. So let's have a quick listen to this one on OSR. So before and after. That's going to give you so much of your sound. And when we start playing with the frequency position, real nice bit of grit to that sound. Next up,
Okay, we are back. Check, check, 1, 2. Yeah, we are in, we are in. Sorry for that. I took a little bit longer than expected, but I hope you got a lot out of Oli's videos there. Don't forget to check him out, STONX on YouTube. That's Stonks Music. His name is Oli, and he is the man. So let's check out what we got going on here. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I think what we can do is start moving things outwards then. So let's start writing the song. We'll make this our intro. This isn't normally how I write, so let's turn off this loop. But we're going to do it for this. We're going to come into the thing. Let's see what 2 bars give us. And then maybe right at the very end here, I'm just going to highlight these 2 and hit 0. And that'll just deactivate the clips. And let's see what we get. Right here, gonna deactivate the bass note. Maybe from here, we want to have something. Maybe like the piano itself. That's just our piano that we have all the notation on, so we can get rid of these notes. We can turn it back on and hear what happens when we go from there. Repeat it. What we can do is grab all this info, highlight it by holding shift and clicking. Make sure you hit the top bars, and then you can hold it by the end here and hold control or option and click and drag it over. And make sure not to let go of control before you let go of your mouse button, or else you'll just end up moving the information. And if you end up moving it, Control Z will undo, rewind, blah, blah. So now that we got both here, let's just hear how they go into each other. It should be a loop, a break, and then a loop. But I just want to hear, and I'm also going to save in between because I think it's a good time to save. So we got the basics of a song, like of a little loop here, essentially with a drop. There's not much happening. So what we can do, since this is the same repeat as that, this is the same repeat as that. This is that first note, so we'll leave it blue. Let's color the next one a different color so we don't get confused here. Let's try the yellow notes. So we'll put yellow note in the melody. And we'll put yellow note up here. And for the bass, oh shit, I forgot to hold control. So what I do is click and drag it back, hold control. For the bass, we know to turn off all the upper notes. And we just want the lowest note. And then there's the same. So let's hear what happens after we do the drop again. Cool. So let's duplicate that out. Duplicate that. We'll get rid of this again by getting rid of it. And I was thinking also here, let's get rid of that bass note at the end. And let's just hear what we have from